Deep within the Pentagon, tension fills a command center as satellite data reveals American and Chinese naval fleets in the South China Sea, sailing dangerously close. On the main screen, a new blip appears, an unidentified object moving at impossible speed. This isn't a known aircraft or missile, it's a ghost on the radar, signaling a new era in military technology. The silence is broken only by supercomputers struggling to predict its path. Thousands of miles away in Beijing, Chinese military leaders watch their own screens, quietly confident as they observe the American response. For China, this is more than a test. It's a declaration of global power. The weapon on display is the result of decades of research and billions in investment. It's China's trump card, designed to shift the balance of power. This high-tech standoff is the new reality, a secretive arms race for technological supremacy. The United States' uncontested lead in military innovation is over. China's rapid progress has closed the gap, and in some areas surpassed it. Hypersonic weapons are at the heart of this new arms race, leaving military planners scrambling to understand and defend against them. Allies question the strength of the American security umbrella, while others consider shifting allegiances. The world watches as Washington and Beijing circle each other, each armed with weapons that could change history in minutes. The stakes have never been higher. What exactly is a hypersonic missile? Simply put, it's a weapon that travels at Mach 5 or faster, over 3,800 miles per hour. At that speed, it could cross the US in under 45 minutes. There are two main types: the Hypersonic Glide Vehicle, HGV, and the Hypersonic Cruise Missile. The HGV is launched on a ballistic missile, then detaches and maneuvers unpredictably toward its target, making interception nearly impossible. The cruise missile, powered by a scramjet, flies at low altitudes, skimming terrain to avoid radar. Both types combine speed and maneuverability, overwhelming current defenses. The main challenge is managing the extreme heat and pressure generated at these speeds. Engineers have developed advanced materials and cooling systems to keep these missiles intact during flight. Only a handful of nations have mastered this technology. Hypersonic missiles are defined by their speed, agility, and the advanced engineering that makes them possible. They are, for now, nearly unstoppable. In warfare, time is everything, and hypersonic missiles erase it. Traditional ballistic missiles offer 30 minutes of warning. Hypersonics can reduce that to just a few minutes. Leaders may have only moments to decide how to respond, with little information and immense pressure. This creates strategic instability, pushing nations toward a use-it-or-lose-it mentality. The risk of miscalculation skyrockets. A false alarm could trigger catastrophic war. Hypersonic missiles target critical infrastructure: aircraft carriers, command centers, radar, and satellites. By striking these assets first, a hypersonic attack could blind and paralyze an opponent before they can respond. These weapons aren't for the battlefield, they're for winning wars before they begin. The speed and unpredictability of hypersonics force adversaries onto a hair trigger. The world's most valuable targets are now vulnerable in ways never seen before. The hypersonic advantage is the power to decide a conflict in minutes. That's the new reality. China's main hypersonic weapon is the DFZF, a glide vehicle launched atop a ballistic missile. It's fully operational and integrated into China's rocket force. The DFZF can reach speeds up to Mach 10 and strike targets across Asia, and potentially the US, depending on its launch platform. Its greatest strength is maneuverability. It can dive, climb, and turn sharply, making interception nearly impossible. US missile defenses like THAAD and Aegis are designed for predictable threats. The DFZF is anything but. It can carry either conventional or nuclear warheads, creating dangerous ambiguity in a crisis. A nuclear-tipped, maneuverable hypersonic missile is a nightmare for defense planners. The DFZF's dual capability raises the stakes of any confrontation. It's a weapon designed to defeat existing defenses and change the strategic balance. For China, it's a symbol of technological and military ascendancy. China's hypersonic program is the product of decades of focused investment and strategic vision. It began in the early 2000s, aiming to counter US military advantages. Billions were poured into research, with state-of-the-art facilities like the JF-12 shock tunnel enabling rapid progress. China's military-civil fusion policy accelerated innovation, blending commercial tech with defense needs. Espionage and cyber theft also played a role, allowing China to leapfrog years of development. While the US focused on counterterrorism, China relentlessly tested and refined hypersonic designs. The result? China fielded an operational weapon while the US is still testing. This relentless pace has given China a real edge in the hypersonic race. It's a national effort that's paid off. China has already deployed operational hypersonic glide vehicles, giving it a significant advantage. The DF-17, armed with the DF-ZF, is a fielded system the US can't yet counter. The US is racing to catch up, investing billions in Army, Navy, and Air Force hypersonic programs. American efforts focus on flexibility, air, and submarine-launched weapons, not just land-based systems. While behind in deployment, the US still has a strong technological base and is pursuing more advanced systems. China's doctrine centers on anti-access and area denial, keeping US forces at bay, especially near Taiwan. The US aims for global strike capability, hitting high-value targets anywhere in under an hour. Russia also claims hypersonic weapons, but their true capabilities are debated. Other nations, France, India, Japan, Australia, are joining the race. The competition is global, but the US-China rivalry is the main event. The hypersonic arms race is reshaping military strategy worldwide. The balance of power is shifting fast. The world is watching. Hypersonic weapons are destabilizing the Indo-Pacific and beyond. US military superiority once deterred aggression. Now, China's DF-ZF threatens that balance. American allies like Japan, South Korea, and Australia are rethinking their security strategies. A regional arms race is underway, with nations investing in their own advanced capabilities. The spread of hypersonics increases volatility and the risk of miscalculation. Diplomatically, the shifting balance may push some countries closer to China, weakening US-led alliances. The world could fracture into rival blocs centered on Washington and Beijing. International institutions may struggle to manage this new competition. There's a faint hope for arms control, transparency, test data sharing, or no first-use policies. But such agreements will be hard to achieve and verify. Without them, the arms race will only accelerate. The stakes are global, and the risks are growing. The world must adapt, or face a far more dangerous future. Hypersonic missiles create dangerous ambiguity. They can carry either conventional or nuclear warheads. If a nation detects an incoming hypersonic missile, leaders have only minutes to decide. Is it a conventional strike or a nuclear first strike? The pressure to assume the worst and retaliate, possibly with nuclear weapons, is immense. This entanglement blurs the line between conventional and nuclear war, raising the risk of accidental escalation. Early warning systems are prime targets for hypersonic strikes, making it even harder to know what's happening in a crisis. A first strike could blind an enemy, leaving them panicked and prone to rash decisions. Hypersonics threaten the logic of nuclear deterrence. Mutually assured destruction is no longer guaranteed. If one side believes it can disarm the other, it might be tempted to strike first. The stability of the nuclear age is giving way to the instability of the hypersonic age. The risk of catastrophic miscalculation has never been higher. The world is on a knife's edge. We're at a turning point. Hypersonic weapons have ended the era of uncontested US military dominance. These weapons are fast, nearly impossible to defend against, and drastically shorten crisis decision time. The race between offense and defense will define the next decade. If defenses can't catch up, attackers hold the advantage. Proliferation is a looming threat. More nations will seek these weapons, raising the risk of regional wars. Preventing the spread of hypersonic technology will be a major challenge. Most crucial is the US-China relationship. An unconstrained arms race makes the world less safe. Only diplomacy and arms control can restore stability. Leaders must act before competition spirals into conflict. The clock is ticking.